All right, second chances. I told you that there was a little ongoing thing here. So I'm getting a second chance right now. How many of you saw me at Yoshi's about a year and change ago? Yeah. Now you saw me sing and you saw me talk and heard me sing and whatnot, but I don't think you realize that you witnessed something that I've never experienced before. Complete, utter panic. Why? I have a story to tell, to lead up to the song we're about to do. And I started, and it went beautifully during the sound check. So much so that the guys, I was thinking, should I tell the story? And the guys in Yoshi said, yeah, tell the story. They love the story. I said, I'm going to tell the story. Now I'm looking at my list of songs, and I see, and I suddenly have, is that the song I'm supposed to do the story on? And I turn to theyese guys, and they're saying, yeah, and I can't remember the story. Everything was going great, and then I could not remember the story. But they said, no, that's it, tell the story. So I start to tell the story, not knowing where I'm going. Hoping that, my memory will somehow get jogged. You know that happens. You start, oh, that's it, and you follow along. Never happened. I made up a completely different story. I did. And amazingly, there were some people who said, oh, that was a great story. Were you paying attention? Because most of the people that know me saw me sweating and realized I was having, pardon it, a brain fart. That's the only other way I can explain. So I'm now going to tell the story because I believe that every person has a second chance. Here's the story. I was about a year and a half ago. I got a call from a dear friend, Caroline Hart, and she said that came to me and said, Francis Ford Coppola has personally requested that you sing at his 70th birthday. What an honor. Francis Ford Coppola is one of my favorite directors. Godfather 1 and 2, my two favorite films. Of course I said yes. Anyway, no problem. It's like a week away. No problem. I get an email from Caroline saying, Mr. Coppola is so thrilled that you're going to sing at his... By the way, some of this part of this story is true. And some of the story is slightly embellished. I'm not going to tell you what is what. But I did get an email, and Mr. Coppola was happy that I was singing, I think, and requested that I sing some songs. And I got this list of like 10 songs. And I'm looking at the list, and there's like 5 songs right off the bat. They're in my book, no problem. There were 2 or 3 songs I couldn't even read because they were in Italian. Now, I'm a Jew who plays in Italian. I don't speak Italian, and I wasn't going to learn an Italian website. There are 2 or 3 other songs that I love, I've heard, I enjoy, and but I didn't think I'd have time to make a chart. And so anyway, I called her up and I said, Caroline, thank you for the list. This is what I can do. And I proceeded to tell her. And she says, oh, that's not good. I said, what do you mean that's not good? She says, I have to call him right away. What do you mean you have to call him right away? Mr. Coppola is a man that likes to hear bad news right away. I start talking, there's nothing on the other end. Click. I'm starting to get nervous. What did I just do? Anyway, I had a tough time getting to sleep that night. Now, I think this was a dream. I think. In my dream, let's say it was a dream, I was summoned to Francis Ford Coppola's home. It wasn't in Napa. It wasn't anywhere in the Bay Area. And I don't even know how I got there. No, it wasn't Palermo. It was in Queens, New York. I'm from Queens. It wasn't Bayside. Anyway, I'm there, and I'm ushered into, it's a beautiful home. I'm ushered into the den. And they open the door, and there's this huge desk, and 4 really burly guys in all black. They did not look very friendly. And suddenly, the man behind the chair swings around, and they're sitting in this chair. It's Francis Ford Coppola. And he's got a white cat on his lap. So I walked in and I said, Mr. Coppola, I understand that you want to see me. What is this? Mr. Potts, thank you for coming to sing. Thank you for agreeing to sing at my daughter's wedding, my 70th birthday. I understand that you have refused the favor. You refused to sing some songs. Why do you disrespect me like this? What did I ever do to you? And I'm stunned, and I said, Mr. Coppola, I'm not refusing. I've tried to explain to him what I've just explained to you, but I couldn't because I was scared, quite frankly. And I started stammering, a lot like I was doing on the night at Yoshi's, sweating coming down. And so, before you know it, I start to cry. I'm supposed to God. And I felt bad. I was making the poor guy feel bad, and I was scared, and I started to cry, and finally I just said, Mr. Coppola, what do I do? I don't know what to do. At that moment, he put the cat down. He got up, he grabbed me by the lapel, and he says, I don't know what to do. You could start by acting like a man. And he started shaking me. And as he shook me, I woke up. I was in a cold, cold sweat. But I felt something warm down my leg. And I peeled the sheet back, and there, in my bed, my sweaty body, there was the bodiless head of Marlon Brando. I woke up again. This time I said, you know what, I'm going to learn those songs. And this is one of them. But true, he did ask that I sing this song, and I did learn this particular song, and I feel like now I got to do a better setup because it's such a beautiful song. What I will say, that as I sang that song to him on the night of his 70th birthday, his daughter was there, but it wasn't her wedding. She really was, Sophia. It was a great, great night. He's dancing to this song with the lovely Dita Von Teese. If you don't know, she's a burlesque. Basically, she's a stripper who was paid for by Sophia as a birthday present. And he smiled at me and he said, it's the most beautiful song ever written. So I will share it with you. It's not the pill that excites me, that thrills and delights me. Oh, it's just the nearness of you. It isn't your sweet conversation that brings the sensation. Oh no, it's just the nearness of you. When you're in my arms, and I feel you so close to me, all my wildest dreams come true. I need no soft lights to enchant me. If you only brought me right to hold you ever so tight, and to feel the night, the nearness of you. come true. I need no satellites to enchant me. If you will only grant me right to hold you ever so tight.